32 minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence. And remember, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it.
It is indeed Spaceboy's Universe, and I am numero uno Spaceboy, and this is Spaceboy Universe, like I said. It is February 20th, and this is show number 022. And tonight we're talking Star Trek. And we might have a few guest callers in. We're just waiting to have one of our guest callers call in fact. But hey, we'll get hooked up one way or another. So, and before I get any further, to my immediate left is the lovely Surlana. Say hello, Surlana.
Hey.
Yeah, she's a little under the weather. She's got a little throat thing going on, but we're going to muck through this night the best we can, and then, call it a day. But hey, if you want to follow us, the best way to do that, there are several best ways. In fact, Twitter, let's start there. At the SB Universe is our Twitter handle, and if you want to hashtag us, hashtag SB Universe. We're on Facebook under Spaceboy Universe. And if you want to get busy with the Space Cadets, usually they like to hang out at the Spreaker chat, and it's a pretty easy way to get there. Just go to our main page, spaceboyuniverse.com, and hit that play button on the home page. It takes you to where the application is, and then you'll see a little chat bubble kind of dingling, and that's what you want to click on to get hooked up with the other Space Cadets that are listening. Surlana, there's always at least a couple people that let say, hey, I was out partying Saturday night and I missed your show, and I feel like
I think they are now.
Such an idiot. Where can I hear Spaceboy Universe on demand?
You can hear that. Let's see. You can always come back to Spreaker and look at our archives. We're on SoundCloud. We're definitely on YouTube. We are on Stitcher and TuneIn. And let's see, did I miss anything? iTunes.
iTunes, definitely.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, if you want to do the old podcast.
Whatever
iTunes.
your platform is your pleasure, we got it covered.
So basically, Surlana, is what you're saying is that like the universe, we're all over the place, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's awesome. So, and speaking of being everywhere, we're on KFNX Independent Talk, Cave Creek, Phoenix.
Yes.
So if you're driving in Arizona and you want to get a hit of Spaceboy Universe on a terrestrial field, that is, then tune in to KFNX Independent Talk. That's 1100 on the AM dial. So, yes, very exciting stuff there. So, Surlana, you're not feeling too well tonight. I know you got a little throat thing going on.
My throat hurts. It's not sore. It hurts, and I've got a cough drop in, so...
Well, hopefully...
I apologize for sounding odd.
You don't sound any odder than,
Gee, thanks.
You normally do. But, yeah, so how are things looking in the chat room? Are we getting a cult following down in there yet?
If you call 3 people a cult, sure.
Hey, it takes... I've always been told it takes 2 to make a thing go right, but 3, I don't even know where to go with on that one. So, hey, let's get on to our normal banter talk that we normally do. I'm going to just jump this one to the head of the bunch. Deadpool.
We saw it
Yes, we did see it
for Valentine's Day.
And we did. And what are your thoughts on that?
I knew I was going to enjoy it,
Mhm.
and I did. I laughed. I enjoyed the music.
And you still got an earworm inside your
Yeah,
head?
I got some songs stuck in my head. I'm like, come on, all right, I get it.
Related to the movie.
Related to the movie that was
Yeah,
played.
X is going to give it to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I think that this movie was meant for Ryan Reynolds, and I'm
Yes.
happy that they've already greenlighted a sequel. If you stay to the end of the movie, there's a little bonus for you. I'm not going to give it away, but
In true Marvel fashion, you have to stay after the credits, and I knew it was going to be something crazy, so
yeah, it was definitely
silly.
so a callback. With Deadpool, he's definitely taps into pop culture, so it's kind of a pop culture ending, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
it calls back on another movie. And but yeah, if you get a chance and you don't have kids that you want to drag to this
Yes, do be aware. And they were kids, like young kids sitting behind us. There was babies. Somebody had some toddlers. We're not parents, so I guess we can't judge, but holy crap, people.
thing, I mean,
There was language, nudity,
Nudity.
a strip club, sex scenes. I mean, everything.
this is not your normal superhero movie. And what kind of cracked me up in the movie was, out of the corner of my ear, the two young boys that were behind us that were at least probably 8 to 10 years old.
Yeah. They sounded younger.
And I guess I heard one of them say, "Mom, can I uncover my eyes now?"
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so if you have kids, this is not, unless you're a father and you're thinking, hey, I'm going to show my boy something. I mean, that's probably
Again, why we're not parents.
Yes, why we're not parents. So best to keep children out of that. So yeah, with that said,
Maybe. We don't know.
So what's up with this? I want to tell you. I think I'm going to call Mark Zuckerberg and ask him for $1 billion because I got some really awesome projects to do. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it through Twitter. What do you think?
Yeah, you go right ahead, but leave me out of that.
Well, that is exactly what Kanye did.
Mm-hmm.
Requested $1 billion from Mark through Twitter, of all things. I'm thinking that if you're going to request some money, you should do it through Facebook, or it's kind of like I was at Target and I asked the people at Walmart for $1 billion. You think you'd go to Walmart for the money, that kind of thing. So I think that's kind of nuts.
Meanwhile, what's his face? The other one, 50 is tweeting pictures of himself with stacks of money that spell out the word broke.
It is just crazy.
He's supposedly bankrupt,
Mhm.
and he's flashing his cash all over the place.
It's hard to live in the real world when you see all this stupidity going around with people like them, showing all that cash or asking for $1 billion. Well, I mean, what does a person get off asking for $1 billion? I mean, it's crazy. And what do you think, audience? If you're out there, chime in the chat area, whether it be on Twitter, hashtag it at SB Universe, and let us know what you think. Do you think that Kanye deserves another $1 billion after whatever he's spent whatever money through?
If he's going to contribute positively to the world, maybe so. I mean, otherwise, give your money to worthwhile charities.
Oh yeah, don't get me started. I think there's a GoFundMe account out there that's already raised $1,100.
Well, I can think of another go F word for him, but let's just gloss over that.
All right. Hey, let's get into something really cool. Did you know that the scientists at the Large Hadron Collider hope to make contact with parallel universes sometime this week?
That was one of the many fears about them starting up that collider.
Yeah.
But as I was telling you earlier, this reminds me of, there's an episode of Red Dwarf, the British sci-fi comedy Red Dwarf, where they run into a parallel version of themselves from one of the parallel universes, and one of the versions of themselves is like really awesome, that's living the dream, and it's like, what if you find out you're the crappiest version of yourself?
Well, I think it would be interesting to talk to whoever's on the other side, but of course, on the flip side of that, last thing I went is Cthulhu coming through the portal, and
in the first Hellboy movie,
mm-hmm.
which I think the first Hellboy movie's plot must have been based on a Lovecraft story.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and hit this first break of the evening, and we're a little bit over. But,
Sure.
It's always good to throw out some good topics like that, the parallel universes and all that good stuff. But when we come back, hopefully we'll probably go right into a Data Bites episode. Sure. And it's Star Trek related.
Cool.
So you're listening to Spaceboy Universe on spaceboyuniverse.com and KFNX 1100 Independent Talk, Cave Creek, Phoenix. Hey, Space Cadets! Want to show your love for the universe? Get your official SBU t-shirt now. Just click the banner on the homepage. Other products are available too. Get yours today.
Hello, Space Cadets. This is Surlana, and I realize you are busy and can't always be there for our live show. Fortunately, our shows are available on demand on Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and TuneIn. Just search for Spaceboy Universe.
Howdy, I'm Spaceboy.
And I'm Surlana.
And we want to tell you about our show right here on KFNX on Saturday nights.
Our show covers history, technology, gaming, pop culture, and fringe science.
So join us on Spaceboy Universe here on KFNX Saturday nights at 8 p.m. And remember, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe. This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
You've tuned into Spaceboy Universe, and you're probably asking the question, what is Spaceboy Universe about? It's about history. It's about technology. It's about gaming. It's about music. It's about pop culture. It's about fringe science. Spaceboy Universe. Remember, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it. The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt. It's Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot.
You're terminated.
Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe. Get your game on Spaceboy Universe. Level up with Spaceboy Universe. No quarters, no problems. Play it at Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, Surlana.
Yeah, Spaceboy?
A lot of people have been asking about T-shirts from the universe.
They have?
Yeah, in fact, they've been, seeing these things pop up here and there, and they've been wondering where to get them.
Well, all you have to do is go to spaceboyuniverse.com, and there is a banner ad right there you can click on, take you right to the store so you can grab a T-shirt for yourself.
Is it just T-shirts?
Well, no, there's more than just T-shirts. You can take a piece of the universe with you on many different kinds of products.
Sounds cool. Go to spaceboyuniverse.com. Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe.
Spaceboyuniverse.com. Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at spaceboymusic.com. Check out the new podcast, Spaceboy Universe, where we'll talk about a wide range of topics from A to Z. And remember, it's my universe, and
I'm trapped in it.
What?
SpaceboyUniverse.com.
Hey kids, grab your milk and cereal. It's Spaceboy Universe time! Yay!
Hey, Surlana.
Yeah, Spaceboy?
You know, I've been getting a few calls lately about people that are just not able to catch the live show, and they're wondering about the on-demand show for Spaceboy Universe.
Indeed there is. You can catch our archives on our YouTube channel and on SoundCloud. We're also on a variety of other platforms such as Spreaker, TuneIn, and Stitcher.
Well, that sounds cool.
It is. So check out our archives on any of these websites.
And you can definitely get to these links by going to spaceboyuniverse.com.
To call in, dial area code 713-701-5214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
You know, we'd like to do a little bit of data bites, and we had an opportunity to talk a little bit with robin-hiert. And here goes nothing.
Hiert.
Hiert?
Hiert.
Hiert. Robin-hiert.
This is Spaceboy Universe. Welcome to Data Bites. Here is Spaceboy and Surlana.
On the phone, we have robin-hiert from Star Trek Dark Armada. Welcome, sir.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am fantastic. We're so glad that we get the chance to talk to you. You're actually our first European Trek production that we've gotten a hold of that we're just excited to talk to you about.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me on. Am I the first fan production at all to be on your show, or are there others?
Well, the fan production, as far as we have one that's going to be on live tonight, but as far as...
Does Manu Intirami count?
He's doing his own thing that is Trek related. Are you familiar with Manu Intirami?
He was the oldest Borg kid on Voyager.
Oh, yeah, Manu, yes. Sure.
We've talked to him back in, I guess it was January, about several of his projects, and he was working on Renegades.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And he's working on a new project called The Circuit that is going to be coming out. But as far as, more of the fan base,
we've gotten really into the fan productions of Star Trek and really enjoying the new perspectives and the new storylines.
And then plus the enthusiasm of people such as yourself that really love the show and are giving back in their own unique way. And we saw you on Twitter, and we've watched some of the videos that you have out there, and it's quite impressive. And that's why we wanted to bring you on and just talk a little bit about your project and give you more awareness so that people can check you out.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Where do you fit in the timeline of Trek?
Well, we're set after Voyager, so somewhere around 2389.
Cool. I like that. With the Renegades, they sort of have like it's not a very happy, joy world that they live in post-Voyager.
Yeah.
Is that similar to yours, or yours different?
No, we sort of take it... Voyager is our example of what we expect Trek to be. So a lot of stuff is similar to Voyager. So it's sort of like a continuation of Voyager, but with a new crew and a new missions, of course. So we take that line of Star Trek and continue on that rather than creating something completely different from it.
Now, I noticed that some of the things I've read that the title of your production is going to change, even though it's going to be pretty much based on the same ship, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we've been doing this for 10 years now. We started in 2005, just after Star Trek Enterprise ended. And at the time, it seemed a good idea to name the show Star Trek Dark Armada, which is our main villain. Mm-hmm. But over the years, we sort of got stuck with the name. It would have been, we were thinking about it because for several years now, to change the name to Star Trek Batavia, which is the name of the ship, seems pretty logical. Other shows do the same thing. Has a pretty name as well. So, we just decided that this was a good time to change the title and change a little bit of the show. So, sort of a reboot of a film production. It's quite a unique thing in film production, I guess, but it's for us a way to use a lot of stuff we've learned over the years and get that right in the new show.
I was impressed by just the sets or the backgrounds and the models that looked pretty good.
Yeah, thanks. Our backgrounds were made by Mark Rodemacher. He's you may know him from several projects he did for Star Trek, starships, in calendars. Mm-hmm. He did the Enterprise for NASA, the design. Maybe you've seen that one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he's very good. we're glad to have him on our show, making the 3D models of the interiors. Yeah.
So do you have like a shop set up for your location where you do the 3D or the green screening, or how does that all work out for y'all?
3D is done separately. We have since a few years a new guy working on the CGI stuff. So a lot of the ship stuff is done by one man. But the filming is done in a school building we can use it over the weekends. Mm-hmm. Our director Eric works in a school, and we can use that building for shooting. So one classroom is. It's where the green screen is set up with all the lighting and sound stuff and a lot of equipment. Another classroom is used for our makeup and costumes, and another room is used for our lunch. So usually we use 3 classrooms for our production. Yeah.
So over the years, you say you've been at it for over 10 years, right?
That's right.
Has the cast changed much in that time period, or do you still have pretty much the same cast that you've been, you started off with? What's that like?
Well, one of the reasons to reboot the show was because a lot of actors were leaving or lost interest. With this new show, we're setting up a new way of our characters. We will be using 3 main characters from Batavia on, mm-hmm. And all the other actors will be coming and going. So the focus will be on the 3 main characters, also because we can't just put out as many episodes as a real television show. So mm-hmm. It's a way to work with the means that we have available to it.
So when do you think you'll start transitioning into the new show format?
Well, we have one final episode of Dark Armada coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Should be in the next couple of months. Not quite sure yet. Work on the final renderings, final episodes. Everything was filmed, so should be a couple of months.
Can you tell us what will be the focus of the newer productions?
Well, Star Trek Batavia will be, a lot of stuff will be the same, but tweaked. Mm-hmm. So we'll be focusing on 3 actors. Captain Richardson will remain, and we'll be adding 2 new characters to the show. We're working on a great dynamic between the 3, and I'm not telling you yet what it's going to be.
Okay.
It'll be a surprise. Yeah, and the focus will be more on the 3 main characters of the show, rather than a lot of new characters that come and go. And that was a difficult thing to work with on Dark Armada. A lot of people that needed to be there for the stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah.
So just, going off the top, you've obviously you love Trek. Was there a particular series that kind of grabbed you, that got you involved? What's your
history with Trek?
History with Trek?
I started watching Star Trek when I was about 11 years old, and I'm 20 years old now. So I haven't seen the original Trek when it was released. I've seen it, of course, but not when it was released.
Robin, I want to just say you've made me feel very old right now.
Me too.
But go on, continue.
Sorry. Yeah, so I didn't grow up with the original series. I grew up with The Next Generation and Voyager.
Yes.
Mostly Voyager, of course. That's my Trek. That's why Star Trek Batavia is kind of like Voyager.
Any particular characters that stand out to you during, out of your favorite Trek?
Well, I've always liked Captain Picard. He's a very interesting character, of course.
He grabbed my attention, but for different reasons.
So, if people wanted to follow you, you want to go ahead and tell our audience, what's the best way that they can get a hold of you in the universe?
Watch your show.
Yeah, they should just watch the show. You can find us on YouTube or darkarmada.nl. That's where all the episodes can be found. Or just Google Dark Armada, you'll find us. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're everywhere. Even Instagram. You can leave a message everywhere and we'll respond to you. Yeah. So we don't accept donations. We never have. We've always funded the show ourselves. So just watch and respond, and that's the best thing you can do for us.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, Robin. Well, that's it. It's just short and to the point. And like I said, maybe at some point we can do another interview with you and talk more about the new show format that you're going to be rolling out, and just keep us in mind, okay?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much. And like I said, don't be a stranger. Consider yourself a part of the Spaceboy Universe family.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, you crack me up, Surlana. Dance like a robot. It's kind of got a robot.
I've tweeted something. I've tweeted a link to a guide to the races of Star Trek. Go enjoy that. After this show.
That is very hilarious, and it is a must listen to. I think Surlana about Wetter Pants when we first watched that, and
they also have a guide to the races of Star Wars.
Yes, but it's not as funny as Star Trek.
No, it's not as funny.
But yeah, that is pretty funny. But yeah, what'd you think about that interview?
Yeah, I hope we do a lot more with him, with other fan-based productions. Maybe we could be the go-to broadcast for fan-produced Star Trek productions.
That'd be cool. Shedding some light on them. I know we had another fan-based group scheduled tonight, but we haven't been able to get a hold of them, and so we can only hope that everything's okay on their end.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to trek along and still continue to talk Trek here tonight, and
We talk about their production, or
I guess we could mention it. I guess we're getting close to about we're up against a hard break coming up, and I'm just trying to do the jibber jabber dance.
Okay.
That I do so well, and if it seems like I'm hitting around the bush, I guess I am. I just but that's what I was saying. But yeah, he was quite interesting and very nice, and with all the things, with any of the people out there in the Star Trek universe, with these fans, they're just really down to earth people, and if you, it's like, they could be your best friend or somebody you haven't seen in a long time, and pick up a conversation from there, and life is good all over again. But yeah, when we will come back, we will talk some more Star Trek here. In fact, I'm looking forward. I think we have something to talk about Manu Intiraymi's project, The Circuit, So, we can definitely pick that up when we come back, and it will be all good in the neighborhood. And so with that said, let's take that break. Woo! Man, I didn't think I was going to make it. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe and KFNX 1100 Independent Talk, Cave Creek, Phoenix. Hey, Space Cadets! Want to show your love for the universe? Get your official SBU t-shirt now. Just click the banner on the homepage. Other products are available too. Get yours today.
Hello, Space Cadets. This is Surlana, and I realize you are busy and can't always be there for our live show. Fortunately, our shows are available on demand on Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and TuneIn. Just search for Spaceboy Universe.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe. This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe. Rock on, Spaceboy.
Hey there, this is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Elisha, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai Jalil. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt Pit. Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot.
You're terminated.
Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, Surlana.
Yeah, Spaceboy?
A lot of people have been asking about T-shirts from the universe.
They have?
Yeah, in fact, they've been, seeing these things pop up here and there, and they've been wondering where to get them.
Well, all you have to do is go to spaceboyuniverse.com, and there is a banner ad right there you can click on, take you right to the store so you can grab a T-shirt for yourself.
Is it just T-shirts?
Well, no, there's more than just T-shirts. You can take a piece of the universe with you on many different kinds of products.
Sounds cool. Go to spaceboyuniverse.com. Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe?
Spaceboyuniverse.com. Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at spaceboymusic.com. Hey, Surlana.
Yeah, Spaceboy?
I've been getting a few calls lately about people that are just not able to catch the live show, and they're wondering about the on-demand show for Spaceboy Universe.
Indeed there is. You can catch our archives on our YouTube channel and on SoundCloud. We're also on a variety of other platforms such as Spreaker, TuneIn, and Stitcher.
Well, that sounds cool.
It is. So check out our archives on any of these websites.
And you can definitely get to these links by going to spaceboyuniverse.com.
To call in, dial area code 713-701-5214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back. And tonight is Star Trek talk, and you are more than welcome to call in. The hotline, according to Savannah the robot, is 713-701-5214. Call in, tell us your favorite Star Trek thing, and we'll put you on the air. Or if you've got a favorite Star Trek character, we could do that too. But I might have a surprise here. Caller, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hi, this is Jim Bray. I'm
Hey.
supposed to be on your show.
Yes, Jim. How are you?
Greetings from the Great White North, where the phone service always isn't what it should be.
Yeah, you got us scared there for a little bit, but we had a little bit of filler to fill in until, whatever may come. So, but thanks for calling in. In fact, Surlana, do you have a little something?
Yes, I will introduce you if you're both there. Okay.
Yeah, we're both here.
All right, excellent. All right, an accomplished stage director, James A. Bray, has worked in theater for nearly 40 years. He has acted, produced, directed, designed, and built sets and props, as well as done special effects makeup. He has owned his own theater company, Stage Door Productions, and has also produced several short films. He is also the chief executive producer and creator of Star Trek Anthology. Currently, Jim lives with his wife in Vermont, his son and daughter, and dog and cat. Now, Jodi Bray has been involved in theater since The Music Man production in high school and on and off for the past 30 years. This is her first foray into the film arts, and she finds the differences in being in front of the camera on stage to be at opposite ends of the spectrum. But she is excited about playing a starship captain, but her biggest and most important role is that of mom of a son and daughter. She resides in Vermont with her husband Jim, her family, and an obese beagle dachshund mix, Chloe, and their cat Shadow. Please welcome Jim and Jodi Bray.
Welcome.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, how did you memorize all that?
I am reading it from a separate screen.
all the part of the craft skills that she has.
That's what happens when you put an English major on internet radio.
I'm very impressed.
Yes, very much so.
Thank you very much for having
me. I have a painful throat, too, so...
Well, we're glad to have you on, and we are, we've talked before tonight's episode, and we expressed to y'all that we love the fan-made Star Trek productions, exactly. And in order for us to, we figured a great way to support that cause was to bring it onto the universe, Spaceboy universe, that is, and talk about Trek in general and your project. So this is the great opportunity for both of us to get to know each other and tell us about what you're doing and your project that you're doing.
And where it fits into the Trek universe.
Yes.
Well, wow, that's a lot to cover. Where to start, actually?
We like Trek, and we have a fan film.
There you go. Thanks. Good night.
Good night. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, how did you start with this? When did you say, hey, let's make our own Trek production, and why?
Oh, geez. Well, it goes way back to the beginnings of...
Time, no?
No, the beginnings of Starbase Studios, actually.
Which is located out in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's out in Oklahoma City. And they had found out that they could get their hands on one of the major set pieces from Starship Exeter. If anyone has seen that fan film, that's kind of the mother of all the fan films, really. Mm-hmm. They were the first to try it and succeed. Just a little bit out ahead of James Cawley's Star Trek New Voyages. So this fellow John Hughes and a bunch of other guys found out that they could go to Texas and pick up what was left of the bridge set from Starship Exeter. And so they did. They went down there and they got what they could of the bridge, and they brought it back. And it had been sitting mostly in a pole barn under some tarps, and the weather had gotten to it, and it was in pretty poor condition. And they posted some of the pictures online, and I got to talking with these guys online, looking at this stuff, and I said, I'm a scenic artist by trade, and I would love to come out and help you guys restore this thing, if you let me. And they were like, are you kidding? We don't know what we're going to do with this mess. So I went out there, and we got it going, and then we started talking about, well, what are you going to shoot with this? And one thing led to another, and I kind of got enlisted to help them shoot what they were going to do, which was Starship Ajax.
Yeah.
And things kind of ground to a halt there, and it just became it became difficult financially to, go from Vermont to Oklahoma back and forth to work on this thing. And I said, well, fellas, you've got a head of steam. When you're ready, go ahead and shoot. When you need me, give me a call. But during all of that, the call had come out for fabric to make uniforms, and James Cawley saw this, and he said, if you've got someone nearby, send them down here. I've got fabric for you. Well, I'm just a 2-hour drive away from Ticonderoga, New York. So I said, well, I'll go fetch it, guys. So I went down there and met James, and after meeting and discovering what he can do and what I can do, and I decided I'd since he's so much closer, it'd be a good thing to help him with his production. And when I told him how difficult it was to go back and forth to Oklahoma, he said, well, write something and shoot it here on my sets. And
that's how it was born?
And that's really how I got going. But then he had the opportunity to move into this new building in downtown Ticonderoga, just a couple blocks from his house, really. And so the whole studio picked up out of Port Henry and moved into Ticonderoga proper. And then he realized, well, I don't have all the sets, and I want to have all the sets just as they sat at Desilu, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to build them. So that's what he's in the middle of now. So realizing that, because the weather the way it is and everything else, you can't build, around the clock all year long, because the weather will shut you down. It gets freezing cold.
Mm-hmm. We wouldn't know anything about that.
Heating the building the size of a dollar store is cost prohibitive when you're working on nothing but donations.
Right.
So he laid down the edict that, no, you know what, we're not going to shoot anything more until these sets are done. So I don't want to be building sets while we're trying to shoot, because I want to have fun too. And so we're not going to shoot another damn thing until these sets are finished. And I went, but James, so what did I end up doing? I turned back to my friends in Oklahoma City, and they said, heck yeah, come back, come home, come here, shoot your thing. So we're going to have to go back to Oklahoma City to finish shooting, which we'll be doing near the end of the summer. And so we're going to get our first 2 episodes blown out in one shot while we're there.
Or so we've planned.
We plan to. And we planned this out like a military operation.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be able to get in there and shoot the first 2 episodes of Star Trek Anthology, which is Starship Challenger.
Yeah, we wanted Anthology to be, different from so many of the Trek fan films out there. There's so many wonderful productions out there.
Well, I think you explained it. It was like back in the 70s when they had the detective movies. Jim, do you want to elaborate a little bit about what you said about that?
About which, sir?
Well, how you were describing. It was kind of like a movie of the week. And,
yeah. The whole concept of the anthology.
Oh yeah, back in the 70s, NBC had something called the Sunday night movie mystery, and so you had Columbo and McMillan and Wife and all these different great films, and they would rotate these shows. They'd have these anchor shows, and they would kind of go through them one after the other, and every week you'd get a different story. So it was kind of an anthology, but you had these characters that were fixed in place, and we'd return to them every once in a while and get a new story. And that's kind of what we wanted to do here, but we didn't want to limit ourselves to that. So we've had a couple people. Well, we've had one fellow that's part of our group, Brian Kovalt. He's one of our executive producers. He wrote a really terrific standalone story. And so that's going to get thrown into the mix because it was such a good story, it just couldn't be ignored. But what we've got is Starship Challenger. Our main anchor shows are Starship Challenger, Assignment Earth.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. And something original we came up with called Mother, which is kind of got the flavor of Firefly to it a little bit,
but not so much.
But not so much. And it takes place in the TLS Star Trek universe,
but not so much.
But yeah, in and around then, but not so much. Yeah. And it's got some really cool characters in it. In fact, the ship itself is a character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your role going to be, Jody?
I play Captain J.M. Colt in Starship Challenger. Colt was a rather obscure character. She was the perky, spunky, red-headed yeoman to Captain Christopher Pike in Star Trek's pilot episode, The Cage, the one with the bubble heads.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call them the buttheads.
Buttheads, yeah, they look like buttheads.
Veins all popping out.
The Telosiums.
The talismans, whatever you want to
No,
call
the Telosium.
Okay, that too. Yeah,
get it right. Trek fans are listening. They'll tear us to pieces, honey.
I'm old. What can I say? She's gone up through the ranks and worked her way up from yeoman to captain, and she's got a bit of PTSD. She kind of a lot of her colleagues refer to her as the Black Widow of Star Trek, or of Starfleet, because most everybody she's worked with or worked under, somebody has either been seriously injured or killed.
Yeah, they're either dead or
missing. And she's carried a huge amount of grief from this. And the last ship that she was on, the Ajax,
things didn't go so well.
Yeah, she had a bad day.
Which we'll get to see the last bad day on the Ajax, and
anyway,
and that's already shot, by the way. So they're not. So it's really cool.
Challenger is going to be a very, very character-driven show. We want the audience to really care about these characters, and we want the characters to be more realistic. She's not Kirk by any means. She is not Picard. She's not Janeway. She admires Janeway, and I'm trying to put some of Janeway.
She can't actually admire. Actually, Janeway could admire her.
Yeah. Okay. Remember, I said I'm old. So anyway, I'm gonna try to portray her kind of like part Janeway, part Ripley.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, I want her to be, kind of messed up. She's really messed up. She's got her shields up. She doesn't want to get close to anybody. She's got real issues with getting close, because all her friends have gotten killed. Her captains have been killed,
or missing.
And she carries great guilt from that, especially the last incident. And we get more into that as the story goes. But it's really going to be an interesting character to study, to see how she handles coming out of her shell and gaining more confidence as she becomes a captain.
Well,
I
was going to say, I'm really intrigued by having another female captain. Janeway did, Catherine, just went through a blank for their last name.
Captain Catherine Janeway.
Yes, but yes, she was. It was great. She was a breath of fresh air. So, from what I'm hearing that you're bringing to the table it sounds pretty exciting. I really like that Ripley aspect. As far as here on the show, we're always talking about how there should be more women in sci-fi and action movies and things like that. Is that going to reflect in your show that you have coming out?
The strong
absolutely.
female characters, yeah.
Female characters, yeah. Actually, I think all three of our shows, Challenger, Assignment Earth, and Mother, all three have very strong female characters. Mother, like Jim said, the ship is a character, and she is the embodiment of this family's matriarch, and she is their protector. She is a big steel or metal mama bear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's intriguing.
Yeah.
Also, a little bit reminiscent of Alien, where they had that. Was that the
mother computer?
The mother computer.
Yeah. I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, I know
the
it's
name,
kind of copycat, but
the name is where it stops.
Yeah. But we thought calling it mommy would have been a little weird.
Or mom.
Mama, mommy.
It's the story of these boomers who have owned this ship for several generations, and so you've got the grandfather, who is the chief engineer. His son is the captain. The captain's sister is there, and the captain's two kids, and both of them are autistic in the Asperger's range.
Oh.
It's one of the things that we want to bring attention to is autism awareness. And that's
Yes.
what this show is about. And the two kids will be played by a young man and woman who are Aspergian. So what you see is what you get, basically.
Right.
And then the mother, the ship, is pretty much we're still looking actually for a voiceover actress to play this role. But the reason why the mother is the ship is this. Well, it's the Roberts family. Max Roberts, the captain. Grace Roberts, the sister. Deke Roberts, the grandfather. And Maddie and
Artie
Roberts are the kids. And then there's Donna, the mom, who, when she met Max a number of years back, she was still working for Dr. Daystrom at the Daystrom Institute, working on the M5 computer project. So she was aware of Dr. Daystrom's work and saw merit in it. And when she left the project to marry Max and go with the family out into space and work the shipping lanes, she continued her scientific work aboard the ship, the Ursa Maru. And she began to implant her mental engrams onto the computer of that shipping vessel because she did see merit in Daystrom's work. It was just unfortunate that Daystrom was off his rocker.
Mm-hmm.
So she began to implant her mental engrams, and then one day the ship is besieged by Orion pirates. She's mortally wounded, and she says, "Get me up to my lab," where she downloads her mind into the ship. And so she lives on as the ship.
Very cool.
And she takes care of her family. And so in the pilot episode, the ship is once again besieged, and it turns out some of these pirates, well, she knows who they are. And she doesn't take kindly to them invading her.
Wow.
And she begins to set booby traps all over the ship. And she deals with them in the most unkind manner.
I cannot wait to see that.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be cool.
It sounds like a great show. So will you be, I guess, how is the filming schedule? I mean, I know you mentioned you've had a military precision booking down to the last thing, and I mean, you do it with rotating the three shows.
Like. Well, we're at that place now because of a comedy of errors. It's just working on something like this when you've never done anything like it before. Jody and I owned and ran a theater company for a number of years down in Florida, and we actually walked away with a little money in our pockets.
It was about $5.
And that'll make you a little cocky. So, so then we discover that, you know, filmmaking is an entirely different animal. Now, I've taken some courses, and I know how to handle a camera, and I've been a writer before, and I know how to direct because I've directed before. But there are a number of other things that come into play that I'm not even going to bore you guys with. Just suffice to say that it's a bit more complicated than putting a stage production together.
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit. And so we've been on the learning curve. And we've had several people, well-meaning as they were, stick their foot out and trip us up real good. So, so it's been a comedy of errors. But now that we've got all of the trippers out of the way, we've gotten past all those hurdles, and we've patched all of the potholes that we could find, you know, we're in a good place. We've got some great people on our crew. We've got some wonderful people at Starbase Studios. Scott Johnson, who does all the lighting there and is one of the owners of the studio itself. And then there's everyone else that's in our cast and crew that are just fantastic. And with each of them in place, you know, there's a lot of stuff we're going to be able to get done finally. And now that we're scheduled for an early August shoot, we've got this kind of gap between now and August that I figured we need to fill. And since I'm holding all of this equipment here, I figured, well, you know, while we're waiting to get in there, how about I write a couple of real easy things to produce, a couple of quick, not even vignette size, smaller than that, about the length of a TV commercial.
Yeah. Of
little glimpses of what's to come. And so we've got a vignette set up with the character of Roberta Lincoln from Assignment Earth. So we get to meet her real quick. Then we've got a vignette set up with a certain comedic rascallion that Starship Enterprise has met. He's a bit of a traitor and a rogue, and he has a big mustache, and that's all I'm going to say.
And a penchant for women, huh?
And with a thing for drugged up women. Yeah.
And robots.
I was just going to say robot women too.
Yeah. Obedient robot women. And so we're going to get a look at him as well, because we do plan on doing an episode that's built around Harry Mudd. Oh, I said it. I wasn't supposed to. Harry Mudd. Oh, I said it again. Oh man, I've said too much. Okay. Anyway, and then we're going to have a couple of short vignettes that will give us a look at Commander Jam Colt right before she becomes Captain Colt. Mm-hmm. And some of the PTSD that she's going through just prior to getting her command, and we'll see that she's kind of sitting on it and hiding it and trying to run from it.
So this is Colt. She was the yeoman under Pike, so she's older now, and it's still within the TOS timeline.
Yes.
Well, she was a security. She was an assistant to the security chief on board the Constellation, and she left the Constellation 2 weeks prior to it running into the Doomsday Machine.
So she lost that ship.
So she lost that ship and crew and captain. She just takes everything personally. It's awful.
She probably thinks she's cursed from the sound of it.
Well, yeah, and then aboard the Ajax, she lost Captain Springer, who we never get to meet, and then she loses Captain Boone and the crew of that ship through a horrible set of circumstances. And prior to that, there were several stories written for Ajax that have yet to be produced, where some people are lost, and they were under her charge at the time. So there are a couple of poignant moments we have yet to see that haven't even been done yet. But I figured I'm not giving up on the guys that want to get Ajax done, and so what I've done with the story I'm telling is leaving a great big hole open for them to sail through.
Well, hold it right there. We're going to go ahead and take a break, Jim and Jody. So
Okay.
take a sip, whatever. It's a 5-minute break. You're listening
Okay.
to SpaceboyUniverse.com and KFNX 1100 Independent Talk, Cave Creek, Phoenix. Hey, Space Cadets. Want to show your love for the universe? Get your official SBU t-shirt now. Just click the banner on the homepage. Other products are available too. Get yours today.
Hello, Space Cadets. This is Surlana, and I realize you are busy and can't always be there for our live shows. Fortunately, our shows are available on demand on Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and TuneIn. Just search for Spaceboy Universe.
This is author Gordon Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe. Rock on, Spaceboy.
Hey there, this is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Elisha, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey y'all, this is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt and Bot vs. Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot.
You're terminated.
Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Get your game on Spaceboy Universe. Level up with Spaceboy Universe. No quarters, no problems. Play it at Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, Surlana.
Yeah, Spaceboy?
A lot of people have been asking about T-shirts from the universe.
They have?
Yeah, in fact, they've been, seeing these things pop up here and there, and they've been wondering where to get them.
Well, all you have to do is go to spaceboyuniverse.com, and there is a banner ad right there you can click on, take you right to the store so you can grab a T-shirt for yourself.
Is it just T-shirts?
Well, no, there's more than just T-shirts. You can take a piece of the universe with you on many different kinds of products.
Sounds cool. Go to spaceboyuniverse.com. Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe.
Spaceboyuniverse.com. Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at spaceboymusic.com. Check out the new podcast, Spaceboy Universe, where we'll talk about a wide range of topics from A to Z. And remember, it's my universe and
I'm trapped in it.
What?
SpaceboyUniverse.com.
Hey kids, grab your milk and cereal. It's Spaceboy Universe time. Yay!
Hey, Surlana.
Yeah, Spaceboy?
I've been getting a few calls lately about people that are just not able to catch the live show, and they're wondering about the on-demand show for Spaceboy Universe.
Indeed there is. You can catch our archives on our YouTube channel and on SoundCloud. We're also on a variety of other platforms such as Spreaker, TuneIn, and Stitcher.
Well, that sounds cool.
It is. So check out our archives on any of these websites.
And you can definitely get to these links by going to spaceboyuniverse.com.
To call in, dial area code 713-701-5214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Indeed, you are listening to Spaceboy and Surlana. I am Spaceboy, and we have our guests tonight, Jim-and-Jodi-Bray, correct? You still there? Did we lose him? Or maybe if I popped up the right fader, I would do. Y'all you still there with us? Yes. Yeah, I could hear Jody laughing. I got a little dyslexic on the mixer board, but so indeed, Jim, did you want to pick up right where we left off?
Where was I? So we didn't want to leave we wanted to leave a great big hole for Ajax to sail through. And what that means is they're still shooting in little pieces what they need to do. And so with this story that we've written, we've given the crew, the valiant crew of the Ajax, a great big heroic death. And we've left it so open-ended that they could write just about anything leading up to these events that we've created. And so that they can go out with a real bang, quite literally. And before we even did any of this, I got those guys on the phone and I said, here's what we're wanting to do. And they said, wow, yeah, we love that. And I breathed a sigh of relief because I'm not big on burning bridges or anything like that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to, do something that everyone would be agreeable with. And so we're in a good place with pretty much everybody, and it looks really good so far. So we're really excited to get out there in August and get back with those guys because they're a terrific bunch of folks.
I'm looking forward to this because it sounds like you've got really solid writers, scripts, the production value sounds like it's going to be great. You've got people who seem like they're well-accomplished actors or they've had plenty of experience acting, and you've got the enthusiasm and experience. I think you probably got something really good on your hands there.
Well, we hope so. And the biggest thing about all of this from the beginning was I wanted to create an atmosphere where people would feel very free to create and have fun doing it. Since no one's getting paid, we better have fun,
Right.
Because no one can get paid. Anyone gets paid, well, you know what happens when people start getting paid working in the Star Trek universe. It's not a pretty picture, yes. It causes problems. And that's a road we refuse to travel down. So
But anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
The Ferengi come after
so
you and
you got to
demand...
keep it all above board. It's all going to be above board, and that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want those Ferengi coming after you and demanding their portions.
Well, yeah. Well, there's no portions. I mean, we're working on a broken shoestring here, folks, and on the generosity of others, and we're just happy to be able to do that, and we're hoping to bring something that people will be entertained by and enjoy, and say, "Wow, that was a lot of fun. Do it again."
And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of fan-based productions and fan-funded productions. They have all the enthusiasm and passion, and they're doing it just because they have a genuine love for it and enthusiasm for it, and they're not being, you're not under a contract and you're not having to negotiate somebody's salary and, what you get with...
And we're not taking things too seriously either. It's a fan film. We're not expecting to make Gone with the Wind or something like that. This is not going to be, a cinematic masterpiece. We're out to have fun. I am just out there to have fun, and when it stops being fun, I'm not going to do it anymore.
And it's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that.
That's what I told Spaceboy about this broadcast, but he said, "Doesn't matter. You're still doing it."
That's why we always seem to joke, with the catchphrase for Spaceboy Universe is basically it's my universe.
I'm trapped in it.
Yeah.
I can't get out.
Yep. Whether you like it or not, you're along for the ride. Huh?
Oh, no, it's Spaceboy's anomaly, and you're along for the ride.
Do I detect a little bit of that in your relationship together?
There might be. Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, there have been moments for both of us actually where we said, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? This is actually kind of hard. I don't know.
Years and years and years ago, I kind of had a huge resentment towards the whole Star Trek thing in general. I liked Star Trek as much as the next person. I grew up with TOS, but I don't know, it was a little too cerebral for me growing up as a child, so I never really got into it all that much. And then I met Jim, and, Jim's hardcore Trekkie.
Well, I don't know if I go that far, but...
Well, you're semi-rated. What can I say? Okay.
No, I'm not.
But anyway, I figured, it would help our relationship if I, learned about things that he enjoys. So
sounds familiar.
I thought, yeah. So I started watching Next Generation, and I got hooked. I really liked it. But there for a while, he got so enamored in the whole fan film culture, and I was like, okay, this is getting to be ridiculous. And I really started saying, this is a waste of time. Why are you doing this? And but then I got involved, and I started, I got the role of J.M. Colt, and we started making all these friends. I got to meet James Cawley and all the people down at Phase 2 and people all over the world that were involved in this production. And it was fun, and we met so many different people. And that was the best part for me, was meeting all these new people and making so many friends. It was an amazing experience.
And continues to be.
Mm-hmm. But to me, it doesn't matter that it's Star Trek. It could be Lost in Space. It could be anything. The fact that I'm doing this and I'm having fun with my husband, and it's really helped seal our relationship. How people get, they kind of go apart as they've been married 3 years, and we just celebrated our 26th anniversary, and, it was kind of going to be, old married putzes. What can I say? But Star Trek, it kind of, brought us back together again. And, it's been a fun, interesting ride so far. So
he's my husband here is giving me looks while you said all that. Like, we're having fun together. This project brought us back together, and I'm like, I said, don't even look at me. Don't even look at me.
Don't give me the puppy dog eyes.
Yeah,
honey.
I mean,
no, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are days when I'm like, oh my God, can we have a non-Trek day just once?
Yeah, can I just have one Saturday where I can sleep late without you angsting out over the show and
Thank you. Thank you. Or someone calling up with some little trivial problem that he has to deal with, and like, I get so sick of it. I really do.
he was really icing me out earlier today. I'm like, would you just relax? Jeez.
Well, it seems like every day some crazy thing happens. Like just a couple days ago, I find out that there's this young fella who's wanting to start he's wanting to start his own production, and I wish to God he had done more research. And I've spoken with the guy, and he's decided to call it Star Trek Challenger, and I'm going, oh boy, okay, we got to sit down and talk, because in doing that, you set a hurdle in front of yourself that's going to be difficult. You're going to confuse your fans. You're going to confuse our fans.
He seemed to think that because it took place in the Enterprise era, there would be no confusion. Well, it really doesn't matter what era it is. The problem is the same name. It's going to create a lot of confusion.
So you and I are talking, and I'm trying to help him sort through that, and hopefully we can come to some kind of solution that is amenable for both of us and works out. So
but it happens,
But this is the kind of stuff that happens pretty much daily, where some crazy little thing will crop up. It's a little spot fire, and it's got to be dealt with and put out, and without clear cutting the whole forest. And so it's those kind of things that come up pretty much daily. Or we plan a meeting, and then half the people come down with the flu. Oh well, there goes the meeting. We're going to have to postpone because life is what happens when you're making other plans, right? So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, thank you, John Lennon. So you've just got to be able to roll with those kind of things, because family comes first, You know,
that's our number one rule. Family comes first. I don't care what else happens.
then followed by Star Trek. So
no.
That's
Not
exactly
quite,
how I
dear.
feel about it. It's like our personal lives come first, and wherever our concerns are with family, then the cat, then the show. So,
Of course,
Right.
my numbers on that are a little bit different, but you know.
yeah, he's got different priorities. So, and then I
Well,
just
most
I
men
just
do.
ignore them. So,
Most men do, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, different perspectives lead to different priorities. You know.
and then
What are you gonna
he'll do stuff like that, and I'm like, well, maybe your next wife will do that. So,
Wow. So let's kick this back over to Star Trek, shall we?
oh sure,
Yeah. So you know, Jim.
Nice smooth segue there, sir. Very impressive.
Jim, you tell us about your love for Star Trek. I mean, we've heard what Jody has said. And
You
how
do
she-
not have enough time in your show.
you know, do the shorthand version of it. I mean,
I think I can whittle it down.
Better. Good God.
It started when I was a kid. I didn't get to see any Star Trek in its first run. I was old enough to see it, but my folks, I don't know, I guess they just didn't get it, and so I ended up having to watch Lost in Space instead.
I like Lost in Space.
It was all right, but when you look at the two now, you go, "Oh God," you know.
that's the way I feel about original Trek. It's a little hokey for me. It's still too much in the '60s feel to me. I just couldn't really get into it the way I could the rest of them.
But when you compare Lost in Space to that, then you go, "Oh well, yeah, I can see where you would make a choice."
Some of those monsters were very realistic, man. Okay.
Yeah, those guys with the underwear pulled over their heads and the bowler hats, kind of waving back and forth. Boy, those were scary. Yeah.
I was frightened. I was very frightened.
Yeah, I was frightened for different reasons.
If you came at me wearing underwear on your head with a bowler hat, I would run. That's just good sense.
I'd have to go searching for the medication.
Well, someone should have been searching. Yeah, someone wasn't taking their medicine when they wrote that stuff.
Or they were taking too much of it either.
Yeah, it could be. That could very well
Anyway,
be.
get back to your love of Trek, Jim.
So I was catching it coming home from school. You know, I'd come home in the afternoon and it was playing in syndication on some station, and it just grew on me, and I
Like a fungus.
like a fungus, yes. And so I just started playing Star Trek with my friends and started taking sweatshirts and altering them into like the captain's tunic. And, yeah, laugh it up, Buzzball.
Wrong franchise.
But I wasn't putting underwear on my head, so
That you will admit, really.
I'm not even going to go there.
See?
But I'm derailed here.
That's good. So you got into the original Trek, and you just sort of embraced the culture and being a fan.
Yeah.
And it just
Very much so.
never.
Very much so.
And as you grew older, it never ended, or you never, saw it in a different way, or.
Did you attend the cons and all that good stuff?
I didn't attend a con until. Were we married at that point, or were we still just boyfriend girlfriend?
So I think we were
Just barely married, and living down in Florida. And in Jacksonville, there was some little convention going on there, and George Takei was the guest, and ooh, Sulu, cool. So we went to this thing, and we walked around and saw all the people in their costumes, and it was
really bad.
really horrible costumes. Bless them. They're great people, though, and got to meet and talk to George Takei. And this was before people were charging money for a photo or for an autograph or whatever. And he would just sit at a table, and you get in line and walk up and have like a minute to talk to him and get an autograph. And we did, and he was super nice and all of that, and we really enjoyed ourselves. And so that was a fun experience, and now we're looking at, if we go to a con, it's to promote our show. So it's become business, but really fun business. So that's the cool part of all of this is some of the minor celebrity that kind of is going to go along with all of this, and that's going to be kind of fun. That's going to be fun.
I've never been to a con, but we will be going to one in May here in Houston. It'll be our first one, and it'll be, like as you say, it's going to be more of a business thing, and then he'll have to dress up in his astronaut outfit that he has, and we'll have to have passing out things. And
this is not the first time I've donned the astronaut outfit for a con,
twice,
yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've done it for a couple of other occasions. And
in the desert of all places.
Yes, we went to Contact in the desert, and I put on my spacesuit out there, but it wasn't too bad because it was like in the evening.
It was actually, you had more impact in the mall.
But yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. We went to the mall. It was Pictures with Santa. That was a big hit.
It was like baby child, astronaut, baby child, baby child.
And the funny thing about that is that when I'm going up there to pay, to get the pictures, the lady says, Santa wants a copy of those. Please make sure to set aside a copy for Santa. And so that was just just tickled me pink.
And he was almost as popular as Santa. People came up and with their kids it's okay if my son says hi, and some of them were more happy to see you than Santa. Others were terrified, and then when we got done, we went around the other side of the Christmas tree, and everybody was stopping him, wanting pictures with him.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to Space City
City Con.
Space City Con here and coming up in May.
And then there's Comic Palooza, but don't know about that one yet.
We'll take them.
Well, north of you, there's Sooner Con in Oklahoma City, and this fall, what is it, September? In New York City, there's going to be a con.
Yes.
And that's the one we plan on attending. There's what's the one in Boston? That we have yet to get down to.
Not BosCon. Is it Creation run?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's one of the Creation
One in Boston that's pretty big.
Yeah, there's a big one in Boston, and we'd like to get down to that one. Mm-hmm. And we're hoping at some point when we finally get something shot out that at one of these things we can get a screening, which would be nice. A screening and a panel would be super cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did a panel last summer at Trek Ticonderoga, and that was really well received. We had a rough put together of the opening teaser for our pilot episode, which tells the story of what happens aboard the Ajax the day that Commander Colt has her bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting because we got tucked away in the basement of a community college building. We were like the last room down at the end of the corridor. That was where they put us, and so some people kind of wandered down to us, and we were talking, like we're doing now. It was pretty informal, and so we went ahead and rolled that piece of footage, and then and everyone gave us a standing ovation that was there, and it wasn't a lot of people, but then some other people heard the noise and began to filter into the room. And so the new people began to filter in. The folks that had seen it already once said, "Oh, new people, you got to show them that piece of footage. Show it to them." So they sat through it a second time, and more people filtered it in. And they sat through it a third time, and we did this like 7 or 8 times.
Wow.
And
yeah,
it's going to be
I
good.
was like, wow, and they were, and the thing is, as more people filtered in, the people had already seen it several times. They're like, "Oh, new people, got to show it to them."
Oh my God, come on, really?
Well, the thing is, they loved it so much, it was an excuse to see it again.
I know, but I'm sitting there listening to myself and over and over.
Over and over and over.
But throw up. Thank you.
But the thing is, it was so cool that these folks thought so much of it that they were insisting on seeing it again and again and again. And I'm going, okay, I think we've got something here, and that was great. So we knew then that we were hitting the marks and everything looked really good, and it was a rough version of it too. So knowing that we're going to make it even better, I can hardly wait to see people's reactions to it.
Well, you've got
when
it
when
sold.
it's all
Yeah,
done.
I can't wait. It's
Yeah.
going to be a long summer.
Thank you.
Well, for us too, because I so want to get this done. We've had delay after delay the last couple of years. There's been one hiccup after another to try and get this thing done. I hope I don't come off like I'm whining. Yes, you are, Jim. You're whining. Shut up. No, it's fine. So I'm just really excited to get going on this.
I've got
knowing
a
that that is
question.
going to be so cool.
I've got a
Yeah.
question for you from one of our live chat listeners. What is the maximum warp speed of Starship Challenger?
Oh boy, I wish I had one of my people here to tell me.
17 knots per second.
No, stop that.
I love Jody.
What's the maximum warp? I would say
It's an African swallow.
I would say not 9.5.
Gigawatt.
No, it's warp 9.5. You can't do 10. It's impossible.
Why not?
Because you turn yourself inside out and everything turns plaid.
But we actually put in the extra turbo thingy.
No, but you turn yourself out and you turn yourself inside out and everything goes plaid. You can't do it. It's impossible.
But the dilithium thingy.
My God, they've gone to plaid.
Well,
See,
guys,
we don't take ourselves too seriously. We don't know the real answer to that.
I would say 9.5.
I think that's a pretty reasonable answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course you'd say 9.5.
She's fast enough for you, old man.
Again, wrong.
Oh, wrong franchise. I'm sorry. Okay. That's one of the things that you'll find in every one of these episodes is we've got our writers, one of their assignments was, I want you to put clever little nods to other science fiction and pepper it throughout every script.
Mm-hmm.
Be it a paraphrased line or idea of some sort, or in the mother script there are nods to something called Blake 7. Is anyone familiar with that?
Yeah,
Blake 7?
British sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are nods to Blake 7. When you hear those lines, you go, there it is. There are things like that. There are nods to Hitchhiker's Guide. I mean, it's all over the place.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. There are nods to Galaxy Quest.
Colt's first officer. His name is Taggart.
I thought that was, I was like, I wonder, did they do that on purpose or?
There it is. Yeah.
Now, if y'all work in any Red Dwarf quotes, I will really be impressed.
Well, I'm sure there's some smeghead somewhere that works on it.
Nice.
What?
Nice.
What?
What
the hell is it? What?
You've never, she's never seen Red Dwarf.
Treat yourself to the first 4 series of Red Dwarf.
Okay, but what was he? What did you just say?
Smeghead.
Smeg.
Remember, we're on terrestrial radio.
Yep.
Yeah, don't want to be in trouble with the FCC. We love you,
No,
KFNX.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay, just
No,
want to make
you
sure.
can say that. No, we're good. We're good.
Awesome. Jody.
I'll explain it to you after we're off, okay?
Okay.
Just know that Red Dwarf, great show.
That's what brought us together.
Yeah, indeed, it did.
In fact, Rimmer's name comes up at one point in Mother. So. Oh yeah.
Arnold J. Rimmer.
Yeah, Arnold J. And then we're cut off at that point. Some smeghead named Arnold J. And then we get interrupted in the middle of the line.
That's great.
Yeah, there are things like that all over every one of the scripts. Just weird little nods like that.
Fantastic.
Well, the idea is fun, and we will not take ourselves too seriously. Some of these shows really are busy taking themselves seriously, or they want to be, the explosion show of the week, bang bang, pew pew, all of that stuff. And that's fine. That's fine for those folks that like that stuff. There you go. Awesome.
Well, Jim, we're up against the
We
hard.
wanted to be more character-driven, and we wanted to do these goofy little things that would make people go, ha ha! Ha ha! Did you hear that? You know, we want to do that kind of thing.
Well, Jim, we're going to
Okay,
take another break here. When we come back, we'll do some final thoughts with Jim and Jodi-Bray, and see if we'll take a call or two and talk about Manu too.
Okay.
So right after this break, you're listening to KFNX Independent Talk 1100 Cave Creek, Phoenix. Hey, Space Cadets. Want to show your love for the universe? Get your official SBU t-shirt now. Just click the banner on the homepage. Other products are available too. Get yours today.
Hello, Space Cadets. This is Surlana, and I realize you are busy and can't always be there for our live shows. Fortunately, our shows are available on demand on Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and TuneIn. Just search for Spaceboy Universe.
This is author Gordon Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe. This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe. Rock on, Spaceboy.
Hey there, this is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Elisha, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey y'all, this is Laura Jalil. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt Pit. Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot.
You're terminated.
Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, Surlana.
Yeah, Spaceboy?
A lot of people have been asking about T-shirts from the universe.
They have?
Yeah, in fact, they've been, seeing these things pop up here and there, and they've been wondering where to get them.
Well, all you have to do is go to spaceboyuniverse.com, and there is a banner ad right there you can click on, take you right to the store so you can grab a T-shirt for yourself.
Is it just T-shirts?
Well, no, there's more than just T-shirts. You can take a piece of the universe with you on many different kinds of products.
Sounds cool. Go to spaceboyuniverse.com. Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe.
Spaceboyuniverse.com. Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at spaceboymusic.com. Hey, Surlana.
Yeah, Spaceboy?
I've been getting a few calls lately about people that are just not able to catch the live show, and they're wondering about the on-demand show for Spaceboy Universe.
Indeed there is. You can catch our archives on our YouTube channel and on SoundCloud. We're also on a variety of other platforms such as Spreaker, TuneIn, and Stitcher.
Well, that sounds cool.
It is. So check out our archives on any of these websites.
And you can definitely get to these links by going to spaceboyuniverse.com.
To call in, dial area code 7137015-214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
K28, you get some circus peanuts tonight, my friend, for being observant. Thank you for being there. Anyway, so we're back, and we're into the final half hour of this game, and our guests, Jim and Jodi-Bray. So tell us, if people wanted to contact you and get involved and find you on the interweb, what do they need to do?
They would go to StarTrekAnthology.com.
And we're also on Facebook.
And we're also on Facebook, Star Trek Anthology. We've got a public page on Facebook. But everything you want to know, you can find on StarTrekAnthology.com.
Excellent.
So, any final thoughts with...
I can't wait. I want to keep up with y'all. I'm going to follow you on Twitter and Facebook or whatever, and all your media. And
Well,
hopefully
you're not that far away from where we're shooting, and we'll put you on the guest list. Come on.
Oh, cool.
That would be very cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and as far as reciprocal, just keep us in the loop as far as whatever your project's going on, what's going on. In fact,
count on that.
I subscribed to your newsletter, so to keep me updated. So I will be getting newsletters from y'all, which is good. And just think of y'all as a part of the Spaceboy Universe family, and whatever we could do to promote y'all, just let us know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So I guess at this point, we'll let y'all go so y'all can get some sleep, and but keep in touch, and like I said, let us know if anything comes up.
Will do.
All righty, you got it.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Oh,
Thank you.
anytime. Keep in touch.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good evening.
All right.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye. Jim and Jodi-Bray.
Awesome.
Yes.
I cannot wait for their
Star Trek anthology.
I can't wait for that. It's going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of really good,
What's really good?
another project that's out there coming on its way, and we might reconnect with Mr. Manu Antarami.
Manu Antarami?
Yes, at some point when things get a little more progressed.
Ooh.
So, as he told us last time when he was on the show, he's involved with a project called The Circuit. And it's a fan/celebrity collaboration, and it's going to be like the biggest collaboration production in the history of Hollywood. So, it's a multi-genre anthology film series, and he was describing it as, think of it as, the Twilight Zone movie, the Amazing Stories series, and Creepshow. You know how those have all different stories within one universe. So it's going to be like that in a format, but the content will be like a mix of Monty Python humor, a little Galaxy Quest, but it'll also have some spookiness to it. He said that'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry. And they're going to start campaigning on it this May through June. So it's going to feature some stories from the last 50 years of behind-the-scenes events from Star Trek, sci-fi, and pop culture conventions. So this will be fans submitting their stories, and there'll be some actors submitting their stories. And it'll be 5 of these stories will be fiction, and 5 of them will be based on real events that happened. So it's going to be really creative, really interesting, different, and right now you can follow this project at #WeAreTheCircuit on Twitter. You can follow them on Twitter. Their account is @TheCircuitMovie. They're on Instagram, and they're on Facebook. Just search The Circuit Movie. And what you can do, if you don't want to do all that, go to spaceboyuniverse.com and scroll down, and I've put a little banner of their production's image on there, and you could click it and it'll take you to Facebook, and they have more information there.
I tell you, that Manu Antarami is going places.
Yeah, he emailed me because I said, is it okay if we mention this project on our Trek show? And he sent me a long press kit about it, and it says he hopes maybe he can reconnect with us when they get a little further along to talk about it more.
That sounds exciting.
Sorry,
I can't.
My mic is bouncing or something.
Yeah, it usually bounce. But it sounds very exciting for his project too. It's one thing that I like about Star Trek is that there is no end to material that is out there.
You could go on and on and on.
Whether it's about the show Star Trek itself, or just being connected to Star Trek as an actor, like Manu is. Creating projects like that, and then plus he's going to be in another one that I'm looking forward to, and you're kind of intrigued by.
The Fifth Passenger?
The Fifth Passenger.
Sorry, I got further away from Mike there.
No, that's fine. So, I mean, he is involved with many, many projects that are fascinating, and he is just one of many of different actors and actresses that have been on the show, or various shows, that are out there making things happen, and
he does it with some of the Trek alumni, not just the circuit, but the Fifth Passenger is going to have some of the Trek alumni from across the different TV series.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to that. And as you know, this is our Trek show. Now, we did a previous show, just you and I, on our favorite episodes and why we like them. So that is out in our archives. I think you can grab that on SoundCloud. So we won't hash over that again. But what I wanted to just basically say in the few minutes we have left is one thing Trek does well, especially in the TV series, all of them, is they will take human concerns and social issues and they will turn them on their head by making them about other races and other aliens to give us sort of a new perspective. We could step back and take a look at ourselves as humans and see our concerns from another perspective. And I think it really drives it home. And I think maybe the first one, you're more familiar with TOS than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the social issues on racism, and we see how that's reflected back at us, and it seems so ridiculous when they put it in the context that they did with the there was a race that had half of the face was white, half was black, and then it was reversed on another race, and that really showed us how ridiculous we can be about our fellow humans. So they also cover xenophobia, and you can see this very well with in DS9, where you've got a race of aliens called the Founders, and they're shapeshifters. They are so freaking paranoid and worried that the rest of the galaxy is going to come after them. I don't know why they did.
And don't forget about Star Trek Enterprise, where Earth was battling the
Xindi.
The Xindi, but the xenophobicness, because there was a scene where Phlox was on Earth, and they almost got into a fight. But
yeah, because he was an alien. They were going through this xenophobic time where they had just gotten out into space, where the Vulcans allowed us to go out into space because basically they thought we were children, which they weren't wrong. And then you've got RoboCop goes and steals some DNA from T'Pol and Trip to make a baby. And unfortunately the baby dies because his process of merging their DNA was faulty.
And as a side note, he ends up being in the Star Trek
RoboCop gets everywhere.
Into Darkness movie. And
then you've got subjugation of a race of people, with the Bajorans being kind of almost in a Holocaust situation with the Cardassians. Not the Kardashians, the Cardassians. They cover really interesting social issues about emerging life forms and right to life for types of beings that don't exist now but have a chance maybe. Like, let's take Data, for instance. He's an automaton. He's a robot, but he has a mind of his own and his own things he wants to do and the way he wants to live. And there is an episode called The Measure of a Man, where Starfleet says, hey, you're really cool. We want to take you back to a lab and disassemble you and see how you were put together and what makes you tick. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. What if you can't get me back together? So they had a trial on whether he has rights, because he is a non-biological, for the most part, entity. He's not human. He's not a race. And they said, what is your purpose of taking him apart and trying to learn more? It's like, well, just imagine if we had a data on every Starfleet ship. He's like, well, now you're talking about creating a race. And does this race of automatons have a right to life of their own? They also cover this later. They get this all sorted out and say, yes, he has his own rights. And then he turns around, makes a daughter of his own, and they want to take her away and do the same thing. Like, well, didn't they not just discuss this, that he had a right to his own life?
Well, Yeah, I mean, it was a very powerful episode, and indeed to watch. Hey, I think we have a caller. Caller,
Awesome.
you're on the air.
Hi there, it's Ty from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Hello,
Oh,
Ty.
wow.
How are you? Did you get the Spaceboy goodies?
Yes, I did get the Vulcan ship. In fact, I got it on my birthday.
Oh,
that's
well, happy
awesome.
birthday to you, by the way.
Thanks very much, and yeah, it was an excellent gift. And you have a really good show today.
Oh, well, thank you. We tried to...
It's an easy show because I don't have to
easy show.
research it.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to Star Trek Anthology, so from
It sounds
from what I'm
really
hearing.
good.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really into like Red Dwarf and Blake 7 and all that stuff, so yeah. It sounds like it's going to be a hoot.
I adore Red Dwarf.
Yeah, from what we've researched from Star Trek and Anthology, it looks like it's got the potential. It's got some good backing as far as good special effects, the
There are
ideas,
seasoned actors,
good storytelling,
scripts.
everything that you need for a good Trek adventure is all there. And we can't wait to see what Jim and Jody pull out of their magic hat with this.
And they sound a lot like us. That's what I like about
yeah,
it.
I couldn't help but think during that interview, like, okay, see, this is what's going to be us, and
10 years.
10, 20 years, when down the road. But yeah, so what say you, Ty?
Well, mirror, mirror, I guess, eh?
Do you have a favorite Trek series or character or story?
Well, I was alive when the original series was on, so that's giving away a bit of information there. I guess my favorite character would be Spock. Yeah, a lot of people go with Kirk, but I really like Spock. Like I think I'm quite logical, so I could kind of relate to that. And yeah, it in the early '60s when we were going through the civil rights and movements and all that stuff and racism, yeah, it did have a lot of that on there. When you mentioned about the race with the white and side and the black side.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember that episode very clearly. And yeah, it did seem silly. It did seem silly that they were going at each other and destroying each other just because they were colored differently.
And they've got current issues that are going on now that are catching up to Star Trek that Trek's already covered, especially where you've got eugenics wars with Khan and the gene editing, and we find out Dr. Bashir had been fiddled with his genetics, and now they're starting to do that with genes now. And I'm like, did we not learn anything from Trek about messing with a human gene?
I know there's so many lessons we can learn from Star Trek, not just the original series, but the ongoing series. There's so many lessons to be learned, and I think it should be mandatory for politicians to have to watch those.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got an episode like on DS9, Far Beyond the Stars, where it looks back into our actual past, and it merged it with the future to see kind of like how far they had come in the future of Trek with our actual historical past.
Yeah, so it was like we all came from the same place, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
From the same origin.
And also they covered first contact protocols. They say don't mess with cultures that are pre-warp like us. But today we're still discovering tribes where there's a story where they were in a helicopter or something, and they flew over this tribe nobody knew was there, and the tribe was throwing things at the helicopter. And I'm like, should we enact our own kind of first contact protocol with other humans on this planet? Do we need to encroach on their culture with our more advanced culture? And what can we learn from Trek where that went wrong, where they set up that blind outpost on that planet of the pre-Vulcan culture, and their little camouflage blind kind of started failing, in that the pre-Vulcan race found their little, like their little duck blind, and they created like, oh, well, this Picard must be a god, and I'm like, I wonder if that can happen.
Picard, yeah.
Sometimes I wonder who's the more Trek person in our family. And it's moments like this, I'm eyeballing her, and she's just going on and on.
I see it from a different way. You're probably enjoying it one way, and I'm enjoying it from more cerebral.
Well, what are you saying? I can't enjoy it cerebrally? I mean, I enjoy it for.
Come here, let me pat your head.
I enjoy the pictures.
Pretty man, pretty.
Well, Ty, we appreciate you calling in. As always, you're definitely a friend of the show, so don't be a stranger and call in.
Oh, no problem, and just wanted to say thanks for the space goods.
No problem. We've got tons of other space goodies that are just packing up here, and we went through and found a few other space goodies that we plan on doling out as we get.
Found some today.
Yeah, get them all organized and everything. But call in. Maybe we'll hook you up with some more swag.
Definitely, I will. You guys have a good night now.
Thank you.
You too. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Bye now.
Bye. It was awesome to hear from him.
Yeah, it was.
Getting to know some Canadians. It's
awesome.
I
love me some Canadians.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than Canadians.
We're not being sarcastic.
No.
I don't know any. I'd like to know.
We generally love Canadians because, they like to call in. They're so polite. And, we...
Not a stereotype at all.
No. You know what I mean, eh? So, anyway, But, yeah, we...
not making fun. They're just enjoyable.
No, it's just they're our brothers and sisters to the north.
Mm-hmm.
And I envy the fact that it's cooler up there versus it is down here in Texas.
Yeah, well, you do want to live in Houston, but everything is here to do and see. So.
Actually, there was another city that I've been mentioning lately that I wouldn't mind moving to, and you probably just think I'm crazy for wanting to move to Waco.
Yes, I think you're a little wacko.
No. But, at some point I could see, hey, the show takes off. Who's to say we have to be in any particular city?
Yeah, that's the thing about this. As long as there's high-speed internet, we're not really bound to any one area. So, to continue on, another one of these issues I thought was interesting with Right to Life and whatnot is, do you remember an episode of Star Trek Voyager where the Voyager crew found a Q inside some kind of frozen comet or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they put him there because they didn't know what to do with him because he wanted to die, and you can't die as a Q. And so they forced Janeway to continue and said, okay, you decide, human, you're the one that unfroze the guy. And so they said he had the right to commit suicide. He's lived as long as he's going to live. He's done everything. He's bored. He's had enough. And they said, if you let him commit suicide or whatever he does, it's going to dismantle our whole society. And find out later on, it did.
Well, we can both agree on one episode in particular that has quite the moral dilemma, and that's In the Pale Moonlight.
Oh, yes. But, he did it with good intentions. He didn't mean to... you're always telling me, if you want to make an omelet, you got to break eggs, you got to get your hands dirty.
Right.
There's no way to do a certain
just dive
task.
Right into, just dive in and let it be,
But they were losing that war with the founders, the shapeshifters, who had brought in all the Cardassians, and they brought in the Breen, and they had everybody except the Romulans.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are we going to do? We're going to lose this war. So they said, unless they bring in one more race of people. And so he engineered the situation to make it look like the Cardassians were going to double-cross them. So, and they faked a hologram scene. And
it's a fake.
It's a fake. I mean, we've covered that in a previous episode. You can go check that out.
Yeah, definitely check this one out because It is great storytelling.
So they cover,
great writing. I mean, it's got it's just
moral
it's
dilemmas, ethics,
yes,
euthanasia, subjugation, extermination of a race or races. Do robots and holograms have the right to life? Because you've got the situation with a doctor on Voyager. He wrote something and it became a hit and it got back to Earth and it got away from him. And then you've got the nanobots becoming sentient. You've got the Enterprise computer from TNG became sentient and then broke off on its own. It could get a life. You've got Moriarty from the holodeck saying he was going to take over the computer if you don't give him a ship to get out. Well, they couldn't find a way for him to get out of the ship, so they simulated a universe for him with inside, and they didn't tell him. Cultural imperialism. Do we impose our culture on your culture? Do we mean to do that? You've got technology that accidentally influences. You've got an old piece of our technology that drifts into the Delta Quadrant, leaks all this radiation and destroys the culture. And without us meaning for it to do that, we didn't know that was going to happen. And so there's just all kind of consequences of things that we have today, and we see how they get played out. But they'll do it with other races, so it's make us pay attention.
Well, I mean, you've mentioned a lot of the social ramifications that Star Trek covers. But, do you have anything in the line of the tech of Trek?
The tech of Trek, there's a lot of tech out there in the world of Trek, and it's really cool. It's been around since, the first series in the 60s, and some of it we're finally catching up to. Now, I think the coolest thing is the food replicators. I'm like, how do they take nothing or just a wad of matter and make it into a filet mignon, or a cup of Earl Grey? We don't have that yet, but the closest we've got to that would be the 3D printing. Now, I saw an episode where they can take some matter, that's sort of malleable, and run it through a quote-unquote printer that will print food you can eat. And
like MakerBot? But
yeah, but it wasn't exciting.
I think I recently read an article where NASA and someone else is trying to come together to create the reality of replicators.
Mm-hmm. We also have, we're getting more sophisticated translators, Universal Translator, which was their comm badge. For the communication part with a comm badge, they would be able to communicate just right there on the badge with their tunic. There's something called Vocera, which is create a device you can pin to your shirt and tunic, just like the Star Trek comm badge. And it would be good for hospitals to use so they can avoid the public announcement address over the loudspeaker. We now have tablet computers with the iPad, and which they already had as soon as TNG. They were ahead of us in that respect. The tricorder, there's a prototype of the tricorder type of device in Canada. It scans for magnetic field interfaces. Now, the one thing we're probably not going to get is interactive holodeck, but we might be getting close. But like, if you want to interact or get it on, I don't know if we're there yet. And then they're working on tractor beams. Warp drive might be possible. Teleportation never. But the hypo spray is real.
Interesting stuff. We're almost out of time, Surlana, but I wanted to give a quick plug-in for what's up for next week. Next week, we're going to have David Cruz from the show Beyond the Strange. He's going to be our guest, and we're going to talk about the things that he's experienced on the show, guests, and all that great stuff. And we're looking forward to having him.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be excellent. I can't wait to talk to Dave. Not like we couldn't call him.
Not like we can't talk to him anytime we want.
But, it's going to be just awesome to just talk shop with him in regards to his own program. And so everybody that knows Dave, definitely tune in for that particular show. And so, Dave Cruz next week is our guest here on Spaceboy Universe. So, Surlana, with that said,
yes,
I believe we're out of time.
Wow,
went by fast. And there's the magic music. So say goodnight, Surlana.
Good night, Surlana.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Producer credit goes out to Dennis Koch. Find Spaceboy at spaceboymusic.com and spaceboyuniverse.com. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. You have reached your final destination. Good night, Space Cadets.